Hello everybody and welcome to the pre-season testing for the Assetto Corsa Formula 1 Season 3 Championship. And so quickly before we get to the action which is going on track, I will quickly go through the calendar with you, which is as follows. We start on the 20th of January. We're going to the Tunisia International Circuit to race in, unsurprisingly, Tunisia. And then on the 27th of January for round 2, we're going to Kyalami for the South African Grand Prix. On the 10th of February for the third race of the season, we will be in Italy for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari Imola. On the fourth round will be in Austria, the Red Bull Ring. The fifth round will be in Spain, but it won't be at the circuit. Barcelona de Catalunya will be in Valencia, at the Valencia Street Circuit. And then the sixth round will be in Singapore, around the Marina Bay streets. Round 7 will be in Turkey. Round 8 will be in Europe as the European Grand Prix at the Nürburgring. Round 9 will be in Germany for the Hockenheimring for the German Grand Prix. Round 10 will be in Belgium at Spa-Francorchamps. Italy will be hosting the 11th round at the Autodromo Internazionale Monza. The Speed Kingdom. Round 12. We're in round 12. Round 12 will be in Miami for the USA Grand Prix, not in Texas. Japan at the Suzuka International Racing Circuit will host to the 13th and the penultimate round. The final round will be in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. A great circuit lineup, and just got hope that the racing is just as good. And now on to the racing on the circuit, as there is already a driver spinning off into the gravel area of Alexander Rudakov. You'll notice that the graphics we've changed up a little bit for this season. You'll see a lot of drivers leaving and joining, as this is a very long session and it's only meant for testing purposes, as all drivers will be able to join. Instead of just being the ones racing, we'll have second and third drivers in here, compared to real life where you'd have sort of 10 drivers in the morning, 10 drivers in the afternoon. We'll have all of the drivers all at the same time. As we now look on to the rest, to the start line, so when drivers pass, you'll have us streamers in the Assetto Corsa safety car, Assetto Corsa F1 safety car, which is an Alfa Romeo. And we'll have the drivers in the RSS for the RSS 2013 mod, which is a Racing Studio mod of the 2013 Red Bull car, which each team has modified to have their own team skin on instead of the original skin. Here is our reigning world champion, Samuel Ivanov. No, that's Anastasov, who's racing for Breaking Point Racing. Right. On board with Samuel for a little bit. Breaking Point with a KFC sponsor, it seems. You can see the number 1 on his car there. We'll go through some of the cameras that will have our usage throughout the season. Some of them more used for setup testing purposes. Some of them useful like this for watching battles behind. And then we have a T-cam. Very nice. A little bit offset, as it would be. Yes, we have a lot of drivers that will be racing throughout the season. You have the Lamborghini Tech, which I'm not sure what skin they're running. Presumably this is their normal skin. But our number one driver for this season is Samuel Ivanov. Each driver having a different T-cam. If I go to another Breaking Point Racing driver who is in pit lane. If I go to Fulvio Phoenix, who has the red, while Jeremy Guth, who is also at It's Them Racing, has a black T-cam. That would be a good way of distinguishing drivers throughout the season. And helmets will also be a big one as well, because they are all surprisingly different in design. As we wait for Timo, who's just at the beginning of the lap, we'll jump on board with him and watch a lap around with our one-time world champion running the number 39 from here on out, choosing not to take the number one if he were to win the championship again. As we come to the end of the lap, now I will quickly show you through a lap. So through these final corners, it's flat out easy in this car with the amount of downforce it has. There's not a struggle. Braking as late as possible for this corner, hugging the inside and slowly bringing the car out. You want to use a little bit more of the curb to carry a little bit more speed, but this is only testing. And so as we cross the line now to start a timed lap, going down to turn 1, braking at about 100 meters, just after it, let's say probably 90 meters. And then through this chicane very fast, a little bit wide there from Timo, taking this lap somewhat conservatively on the tyres. Interesting with how he's steering. Oh, very smooth. Not taking quite as much speed as he did through these corners. Again, a lot of speed. You might want to take a bit less so you can get a better exit off the second part of the chicane. And then this is almost flat, maybe, depending on the tyres. Super soft tyres would definitely be almost flat. Here's a bit of a lift, a little bit of lift there, especially if you take that curve, it will spin you. This right-hander, though, it is possible to take flat. Myself, in testing this car at this track, I've been able to take it flat. It does ruin the tyres, so in a race situation, you want to lift a little bit. Slowing down there to about 4th gear, and then for this hairpin, down to 2nd gear. Kissing the curve, not quite bringing that all the way to the right, and then just taking the chicane flat out, down braking at the 50-meter board, and then bringing the car into the apex. And it's flat out to the line as Timo sets a 1:30. Oh yeah, wait, that lap was being validated, so there's no time set there for Timo. Down to turn 1, braking at about 90 meters per se. Keep the car to the right. Timo still taking a little bit too much speed through there, and we'll jump to a driver who is very strong in every car, at every track, who is Fulvio Phoenix, who has a lovely red steering wheel design to help himself stand out from the rest of the crowd. The material which RSS have used for that makes the red stand out and look absolutely lovely. I think that's just an It's Them Racing thing, where they are changing the colour of their steering wheels. And as we travel down to the first corner, presumably braking at about 90 meters again. Oh, very late braking from Phoenix. As we come round through the chicane here. Oh, Phoenix having a little bit of oversteer through there, but that probably helped him make the corner. Might have lost a little bit of speed though. Down to 4th for the second part of that chicane there, using all the curb. And then you can see a little lift there. And flat out using all of the curb, all of the track. holding 6th there, not going up to 7th, and then flat out again. The entirety of that side is flat out, and through here 4th gear, holding the revs, using all of the curb. This track is a track where you want to use all of the curb and more. Difficult to get a braking point if this happened, because the braking boards aren't quite as clear to see as other corners on the left hand side. Flat out through the chicane, and then as we go down to the hairpin, Phoenix keeping it wider and then bring it in for a later apex to get it more straightened up for the straight, carrying a little bit more speed. And as we go down to the line, he sets a 21.9 second, the second fastest lap of the session, which we are 20 minutes into. How are we 20 minutes in? Jeez. It's going to go fast, hopefully. And at some point, I might try and go through and speak to a couple of the drivers. Ooh, Phoenix having a little bit of a moment there, as I'll just leave my computer to choose what cameras you'll see. It isn't quite the best camera, but it'll do. I cannot change it either. There we are. Whoop. We have 15 drivers on the server, 14, and then there's lonesome old me in the Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio. Led Poor Racing's driver of Sarah Mulovic. Ooh, just getting a little too comfortable with that right-hand turn. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn 6 going a little bit wide. And spearing off into the short layout, where it just brings you back onto the main straight, cutting out most of the track. This is not the kind of angle we want to see. There we are. I'm trying to change to somewhat better angles as much as I can, but if I leave and it shows a bad angle, I do apologise. MP4 down to turn 1. Not much going on, but these cars for this year, I'll actually get the official Race Sim Studio page up to speak about it more. Tell you about, because we're in a set course, so it isn't quite like a real thing. Oh yes, the new project P91, which is a version of the what was it? the version. Oh, there's a car spinning there of Samuel Ivanov. Formula RSS 2013. I will get that up so I can talk more about the actual car itself. So, the specifications is this car has a peak power of 770 brake horsepower, with weighing only 642 grams, so just over 1 horsepower per kilogram. I'll actually do the maths now to give that to you. It has a lot of horses, though, as we get to see the suspension of the... Which car is that? The Force Tunisia car. I need to make sure I'm tabbed into my game when I'm hitting that. Yes, so 770 divides 642 is about 1.2 horsepower per kilogram, which is a lot of power to be under your right foot. So we might still see drivers struggling on throttle a little bit, but not as badly as we were with the RSS 2013. Ah, yes. Now there should be loud, angry V8 sound. Thank you, Will, for reminding me. Let me get the stream up so I can see what people are saying. There's probably people shouting at me about it. Hey. There we are. I'm just letting the computer control the camera, so if it chooses a bad one, it chooses a bad one. 'Tis what it is. Anyway, back to the RSS 2013. All I'm getting is the 770 brake horsepower thing. It's got a wheelbase of 3,357 millimeters, or about 3.3 meters. That's how long between the front and rear wheels it is. Or the middle of the front and the middle of the rear wheels, I think is the exact specification. Oh, is a Force Tunisia car, presumably of Stephen Coverza, spinning just after the very fast double right-hander. As we have a look at the driver themselves. Ooh, setting a fastest first sector. Oh, he is testing the super soft tyres, it seems. Now on board with Sarah Milovitov. Guessing and butchering the name. Going to turn 1, missing the apex a little bit, but testing the harder compound of tyre. Actually, let me go to the compounds of tyres we'll be using for today. So we'll be testing the... this is the medium tyre, actually. So you have the super soft, which will be the red band tyre. You have the soft tyre, which will be the yellow band tyre. The white tyre will be the mediums. And the brownish orangey colour will be the hard tyre. As Fulvio Phoenix is stopped on track, you can see Samuel is testing the soft tyre. And I will let you know what tyres are being tested by each driver as we go through. Daniel Sol set his fastest lap on a set of super soft tyres. Hoffer is on super soft tyre. Well, Sarah is testing the medium tyres, so we might see a longer run from her. As we look to Justin Kelly, who is a newer driver to the league, we might actually try and talk to the Minty Fresh team at some point through this session. We'll try and speak to every team if possible, if they're free. At the moment, I'm just looking for my former co-driver. Former co-commentator turned driver. Then, who we will all miss dearly in the booth. Check some. Hello, Timo. I'll give you a second. Let me mute the Discord and stream.
Can
you
not in the stream?
They can hear you on the stream now.
Can you activate the track skin?
There's a track skin. Yep. Do I have it? That is another question. I'll check now.
Yeah. It's in the donor link.
What?
So
okay.
I hear me.
Yep, I will find it and do that for you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Timo's telling me off. Ba 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 ba. Lead content. Here we are. Is this it? Mugello.raw. I will download just that for now. Download anyway. If it gives me virus, it gives me virus. Okie. So I will quickly leave you with a buffering screen. That'll do. Cool. I'll be back in just a quick second with everything up and working. Bossman didn't like me forgetting the track skin, which I will put on now, hopefully. The skins, there we are. I guess in there, yes, maybe. Didn't work. Okay, so drag over. Yep. Oh, there we are. Working version now. Cool. So I will just open up my browser. Join, and we should hear the lovely roar of the V8 engines. I will swap you back to the screen. There we are. Now we do is wait. So at the moment, the timings, which don't really mean much, we have Samuel at the top with a 120.6 with a top speed of 304.3 kilometers an hour, which doesn't really mean much because there is a big variance in top speed at the minute. I think by the time we get later into the session, it might be a bit better. But for now, it's anywhere between 310 and 290 kilometers an hour top speed. We're on board with the minty fresh team of Justin Kelly, who has all three drivers in the session. And there is our good friend Venil. Let's just turn this off quick and just ride on board with Ven for his first runs on the track after jumping out of the commentator's booth. Oh! Into the wall he went. So I'll just take the pressure off of him. Oh, he's already back to driving. I can't quite remember. I think Ven is on the controller and not on a steering wheel, which does make throttle application difficult. So after he's done a couple of laps and gotten to feel the car, we might get a little bit more from him. I'll try and speak to him. I'll try and speak to as many drivers as possible, just so we can get a lot of different views and a lot of different thoughts on how the season's going. That's a corner that seems to be catching multiple drivers out, where it looks fast, but then they turn in the car. It's a bit tighter than they thought. It's right. This track has rather long corners. They aren't sharp or tight. They're very much more curved. Oh, taking a little bit too much speed through there. As we now go to seeing whoever, whenever, wherever, whyever, as the camera choice is not the best from this. As we have a Red Bull Racing helmet, Max Verstappen helmet there. And as we look at the Twitch logo on the back, is this a team predominantly of people? I'm guessing predominantly of people who will end up streaming their races. Will, who is a main driver for this team, is definitely someone who will end up streaming their race a little bit more. Justin with a Markelov helmet, black and gold. Ooh, lovely camera angle there for the fast left right into double right hander, which is almost flat out or flat out depending on the car setup and tyres you're using and session you're in, because even on the soft tyre you won't want to kill them too fast, so I'd still lift in a race session. As I was saying, the Tunisian race, well, that's interesting. Tunisian race will be at night. Oh, a little bit of oversteer here. And the Nürburgring will be around 8, but it won't be the German Grand Prix. It will be the European Grand Prix, and the German Grand Prix will be Hockenheimring. Great set of tracks we have here. The personal opinion, probably some of the worst tracks here are probably Miami, which is still a great track, and the best tracks are things like Interlagos, Suzuka, Hockenheim, Nürburgring, Spa. It's just a great set of tracks. That's what we love about online racing. We don't need to worry about things and stuff. Your pen's left, not working elbows though. Switching that stuff there, using all of the track and a bit more, which you are able to do at this track. I think the curbs are the track limits, which we all love because it means, I think that's how the rules are in GT racing, which is just great. Allows us to do more and more. As we are 30 minutes into stream and 40 minutes into this session, meaning we only missed the first about 10 minutes, as Ven sets a 123.6 very close to the next fastest driver. So we watch on board with Ven a little bit, having to lift a little bit, not wanting to get too much on that curb. On the soft tyre there, it's going to get confusing because people used to F1 will think red soft, yellow medium, white hard. But in 2013, I'm not sure on the tyres in 2013, but even 2018 actually, there was a point where we had the 6 different sets of tyres, but it's like the hardest could be the soft tyre one week, or the softest would be hyper soft, and then next week the softest could be the soft tyre, which just made it confusing. So instead they set the arbitrary soft, medium, hard, and then change them between races. All Victor Van Aert getting a bit of a drift on through there. Yeah, they changed it from the hyper soft, super soft, soft, medium, hard to just C1 to C5, and they just changed the soft tyre. Soft, medium, and hard. So soft tyre could be anywhere from C1 to C3. Hard tyre could be from anywhere from C3 to C5. So the hard tyre 1 week could be the soft tyre next week. It all depends on like the track and then how the surface is, because it could be that 1 year we go to it and the surface is very nice, but a lot of racing going on the surface could degrade it a lot. So that's why we are using this as more of just a session for drivers to get used to the tracks and sort of how the car feels, even though they get a lot of practice outside. But we're here and this is it. You've got me from 6 until 9 in the British times. In your time zone, you've got me for another 2.5 hours. I will be dipping in and out because I'll need to, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to get anyone else in here whilst I'm out, but we'll try our best. As Cohen Van excels through the track as he is the minute. A minty fresh driver. 3 drivers following at the minute. I'll see if maybe when they get off their runs, we're only then getting a little bit of oversteer. A lovely little Red Bull helmet. We've got a lot of those going around. Actually, if I just there's a little bit of oversteer for Timo there. Seems to be that. As we can see, the speed and the gear in which the drivers are in. All very interesting things we can see when we enter certain views, which I don't choose. Now I'm just letting the computer decide. So I can look away from the screen and still keep the camera stays on the action. Oh, Jimmy Broadbent streaming at the exact same time as us. What fun. Keep stream up. Press F3. I know I'm saying... I know it isn't that, but... You haven't told me how else to pronounce it, and so now it's just stuck in my head like that. You haven't given... Milevitov. Milevitov. That's how I say it. Milevitov. I'm so confused. Is that right? I was looking at chat, sorry if I seem weird for people that aren't paying attention to it. Temtem. Milevitov. Milevitova. Milevitov. Oh, it's because the A's split off here. Milevitova. Is that right? Milevitova. I'm saying it over and over again. I'm not even on board with you. There we are. Nope. Here's the driver that's constantly telling me how to and how to not pronounce their name. Who We'll find them somewhere here. Might be somewhere over there. Click on them. That one. Nope. That one. There we are. Haha. Found you. I'm getting closer. That's good to hear. Can I just call you Sarah? That's a lot easier. I'll happily try and learn your second name, but it is a lot easier just to say Sarah. Thank you. And on to Nassim, who is using the super soft tyre, who's racing for over the limit with my former... What's his name? Former Thingabob. Former Thingabob Jimbo. Where's this at from? Oh, where's from Sport? You got... Yeah, there we are. Ven. Ooh, it's Nassim getting a little bit wide, taking the grass and spinning around. Returning to the pit lanes, we can now watch on with not the driver. I'm not hitting F3. I'm not in control of the cameras. Cool. Now names are sorted out. Time to go butcher someone else's name. Stephen Coverza, he is in P10. Racing for Force Tunisia. Not much going on. I could just use this as a way to watch the drivers as they pass over the start-finish line. Oh, we've got about 4 here passing all at the same time. 3. And that 4th car... I don't know, Stephen is left actually. Pietro Lunghi. Pit lane. Victor Bonat. 2-frame studio sponsor, interesting. Who's the other driver at Quail Racing? Him and Victor Burnett, both for Quail Racing. Well, that's Victor Burnett. Alex Halm is the other driver. Alex Halm for Quail Racing. 2 very strong drivers, having raced them in the IndyCar series, which I stream on my personal channel. Oh, a little bit of a drift there, locking the tyres to keep the car under control. Lots of skill needed to keep the car in control after a spin like that. Let alone to keep going at such a pace that he is, even though he's on the super soft tyre. As we have 18 of God knows how many drivers could be joining throughout the evening. Oh, the Minty Fresh driver pushing Victor a little bit. As we watch now, Cohen Van Exel. I'll actually message a few of the drivers now, just sort of see if and when we could speak to them. Minty Fresh drivers giving it all their might, going a little bit too much of his might there, and just putting it off the road. Camera angle accentuating how the car is bouncing. Ooh, pushed a little bit wide there. Phoenix was not sure which car that was by. Using the stream as a second viewing. Still not quite sure by who. I might see. I'll give Ven until 2 hours in. So we'll get an hour into the stream on my own. Then I'll start thinking about talking to drivers. I'll message him now. Ooh. Hell pushed a little bit wide there. So we have Sarah on the super soft tyre. Ooh, we've got a little bit of sibilance there with the S's. Sarah through the S's on the super soft tyre. There's a minty fresh moving car right behind, which is very difficult to miss with how potent and bright that colour is. Potent isn't a bad word. Isn't a bad colour, it's a lovely colour. As we're on board with Ven at the minute, the number 19. Car that personally I'll be watching out for quite a lot. But the front is where we will keep our eyes to see the great racing. Hopefully the 19 will be at the front. Moment in the middle of the pack, but it's testing and he is on the soft tyre. Anything could happen, folks, anything could happen. With both the Breaking Point and the Over the Limit cars, as they are like Red Bull sister teams, they both have the Sim Racing GP on the bottom of the rear ring, as there is a Breaking Point Racing Sim Racing GP league. Not much goes on. They host a race every couple of months, and then the servers mess up some way because Ven is cursed. All jokes, all jokes. Oh, we've got 3 likes. What, 7 people watching? Damn. Oh, popular. Does this mean I can be a cool... Does this mean I can be a cool kid at school? Just wait for time to tick around. I'll mute Discord quickly just so that I can ask them if I can speak to them a little bit. I do love the teams deciding things such as changing the colour of the wheel. Most teams haven't, but It's Them Racing choosing to change colour of the wheel is a lovely little addition that I do like the look of. Because the wheel is like a carbon fibre plastic kind of a sort of plasticky carbon fibre, and so that material with the red, as we have a few more drivers joining for the first time. Another It's Them Racing driver actually, and then an Overdrive Honda. Oh, Overdrive are back. Not back, but I didn't really notice them for a bit. So now let's go over the track we're at a little bit. This is Mugello, which hosted one of the many races in 2020. Actually, oh, I have a couple of interesting statistic things that I did because I am a nerd and programmed some things. So if I go to my pictures folder, I will pull them up onto screen. Actually, about the amount of time drivers spent flat out. Let's open up that, I guess. Try and not leak it. No. There we are. So if I get my data up, this is information from Lewis Hamilton in the 2020 season, and this is the speeds that he was hitting through certain parts of the track. So if I put it onto screen now, this was Lewis Hamilton Tuscan Grand Prix, which is this track Mugello. So he's holding about 260, 270 through that fast right-hander, losing a little bit on entry, and then sort of lowest points being the 2 hairpins, top speed being say 320-ish, almost down the main straight, which we aren't quite hitting in these 2013 cars, but otherwise all the coolness. So we now watch Samuel Ivanov. Seems to be in miles per hour, the onboard display, because they're hitting about 300 kilometers per hour down that main straight. It seems to be there are now too many drivers on the track, and so the visualizing of it on this seems to be a little bit broken. Nope, here we are. Now if we go to our good friend Then, who's actually racing his teammate a little bit here. Nassim is following him on a soft compound of tyre. Ooh. Very close there, very close between the two. Ooh, over the limits driver, and as Nassim there goes over the limit of the car. Timo now just coming out of pits, it seems, on the medium tyres. It was weird to say medium tyres, seeing the white stripe tyre, but I don't think we've had any drivers, at least not watched any drivers on the hard tyre as of yet today. If we do see a driver on the hard tyre, we'll watch them see the grip difference. Oh. As we are almost 1 hour into this 3-hour long session. Stick in it for the long run if you're with me. Otherwise, have a good evening. If you're just joining us, this is pre-season testing for the set course of Formula 1 Season 3. As I believe... Let me open up this real quick. Oop, as we're now watching Phoenix coming down the main straight with a little bit of traffic ahead of him. With 80. Oh. In number 60 there, slowing down. Positive delta and negative delta. Well, that's all very useful information on the dash there. You want a negative delta because that means you're faster. It means the time is going to be smaller. So we have broken into the 119s. Actually, what times was I saying when I was at this track? What? Not on this track, but on the other one. I was in a 122s. That was probably super soft tyre. 122. Oh my god, I'm slow. That's why I commentate, people. Though that was just sort of hot lapping, not things like this, because I could probably go faster if I was like soft tires, not 100,000% pushing. But like, yeah. So keep an eye on when both Ven and Nassim are off track, and we'll try and jump in and speak to them for a little bit. Would love to try and get my lovely Alfa Romeo onto the track, but I think Timo would tell me off. Plus, I think this is set up to take my wheel inputs, which I do not have plugged in, and cannot be bothered to plug in. So we watch the minty fresh of Will KB driving around a little bit, like every other driver, just to sort of finding out how the car is, seeing how you see drivers driving close to this, like how's the car handling dirty air, how is it with the slipstream, all of this stuff that will be very useful later in the session, later in the season even. Oh, as Van Excel gets out of the way and returns to pit lane. And Ven sets a 122.1, putting him in P10 as he returns to pit lane, and we will go and chat with him and his teammates a little bit. Just waiting for the message. Team's limited to 4 people in their VCs. Do I break that? I could find out if I break it. So we're watching Samuel with his Lewis Hamilton helmet. Half the speed that helped him win the championship. Ugly angle, I'll try and jump away from as fast as possible, but I'm somewhat locked by what it's going to let me do. As I will now quickly go speak to the drivers away from Mike, and we'll get back to you. I'm here now with the overdrive drivers of Nassim and Ven. Both of you, how do you think the car's doing so far? We're only an hour into the session, but how is it?
This feels like a pig. Yeah, I prefer last season's car, if I'm going to be completely honest, the 2009 Williams. But yeah, I'm working the setup at the moment, you know, looking at the telemetry of the temp histograms, trying to figure out what works best. You know, getting the flow of how to create setups with this car. Yeah. At the moment, I think I'm quite far off, yeah. 1.5 seconds. It's not looking good at the moment.
Yeah, there's always time. I mean, you still got 2 hours of just this session alone, then all the practice time that you could have before and after.
I'm just hoping that it's better in the other tracks, because like, Mugello doesn't seem like it's going very well for me.
It's quite a high-speed track.
Yeah, I mean, it's still top 5, I guess, but still.
Mugello is quite a high-speed track, so you don't want to set the aero up too high and lose speed. But then you don't want it too low and understeering a lot.
It's already understeering and I'm almost full aero, so I'm just gonna have to compromise.
Yeah. So, Antoine, have you raced the car yet or not?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. So we will see you in the track some point today?
Yep.
Cool, good to hear, good to hear. And Van is muted.
Nah, I'm here, but...
There we are. Van, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. First of all, I would like to thank Nassim for being my lovely teammate this season. You know, the original plan was I wasn't going to be driving this season, but altercations happened in the background and I was basically forced to drive. But it is what it is. I'm enjoying the car so far. I think it's great fun. And I would like to actually thank Antoine for being the designer of this car as well for a livery. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here, to be honest with you. I'm having a great time, and this season I'm hoping for regular points. I couldn't ask for much more.
So points is all you're looking for so far. I
mean, that's what this is about, isn't it? Just grabbing as much about as points as possible by winning the championship.
Yeah.
For me, there's no other strategy than just to drive fast.
Yeah, I mean, with the skill you have with Nassim and yourself, you might have a good chance at clenching third or even the championship in the constructors, and then drivers.
That's the hope.
You'll have
The
a good
hope
chance.
is, of course, that the sister team can finish second, and then the main team can finish first. But you never know with these things. It's just... I mean, you can't take a race by race, evaluate our targets, but during this pre-season, I'm hoping that Nassim will be able to... I mean, he's the number 1 driver. I'm not going to hide it. I'm number 2, so I could be the guinea pig, perhaps. And yeah, we'll see where we go for the rest of the season.
So yeah, it's a very strong lineup you have on both of your teams, so it should be a lot of very close, very good racing from both teams, and then outside teams such as Beiju Racing and maybe even Minty Fresh Mugen, who at the moment are holding the fastest time.
I mean, Minty Fresh are a good set of lads. I mean, they know how to have fun, so I don't mind them seeing them on top. But yeah, hopefully when we race them to get out of the way. That's all I care about.
We'll have to see. Well, thank you very much for letting me join your VC and talking to you for a bit. Have a good another just about 2 hours.
Anytime, man. Thank you
Goodbye.
for joining us.
Anyways, goodbye.
Bye.
And that was the what was it? The overdrive drivers of Nassim, Ven, and Antoine, who should be joining some point later. Let me move this a little bit because it's overlapping because there's too many drivers. So I'll just slowly move it down, then I'll just put it there so that it doesn't overlap. It's a bit more central than I'd like it, but you win some, you lose some. Let's just set it up perfectly. Yeah, so that was the overdrive drivers of Nassim, saying that the car for his style is understeering quite a bit, or Ven saying that he's loving the car. So 2 different drivers, but then Nassim's trying to work a lot on his setup. As I might try at some point speaking to the Minty Fresh guys to see how they're doing with the car. I'll just message. We'll try and get a lot of the drivers in the middle of this stream, as we now watch Timo doing his lap. Everything feels a bit intruding and closed up because there's too many things. Let's just move this down a bit. And there we are. That'll have to do. There we are. Opening it up as much as possible. It's a bit of a struggle with so many drivers. It's going to be a bit packed on the left side of the screen. We have 15 drivers in the session at the minute, but 20 drivers have been in and set a time. So if I double check it. Are you still at the old 2009 car? Just interesting from what Nassim was saying that he preferred the 2009 car. we have 17 drivers in session, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We've had 22. Interesting. I guess Alex Helm is not there. Interesting things. I'm obviously not there. Oh, there we are. So we do have 16 people. Alex Helm joining us now, joining the bottom of the timings. I'm going to have to load up my config. Is it Control W or Control D? Control W. Cool. So I'll load it up as gaps instead. Or just, where's compact? There we are. Load it as compact just to hide the times and open up the screen a little bit just so you can see the drivers as it is testing, and times themselves aren't vastly important. And oh yes, I need to get on to the minty fresh guys. As we quickly watch Nassim as he is starting a lap. P6 so far. This channel is full. Oh, that might be difficult to get in there. Would I be able to join anyway? I might be able to get in there. I'll wait for Will to get back to me. Members signing in the beginning of the season. I guess they wouldn't know it's the beginning. Iron. Lead Poor Racing. Ah. Okay. As I'll quickly mute just so I can talk to the drivers and team just before they get on. Okay, just going to take a little bit longer with... I'll talk a little bit more with Minty Fresh a bit later, because we're just having a couple of small issues with setting this up. At the moment we have, what was that, 13 drivers? Oh, that's good. Minty Fresh now have 14, so I will join them. So there we are. I'll mute on here quick just so I can let them know. And we're
the funniest team on the grid.
Funniest team on the grid.
Exactly.
Team.
That's why we're in green.
In our fucking field spread, you got big man Justin at the top, and then me right at the back.
Justin at the top and Will at the bottom.
How are you, good sir? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm alive. I'm currently skill issuing right now.
He's being mid.
Great to hear. How do you all feel about the car so far?
Mint.
Mint and quick.
Mint and quick.
Fast.
I mean, it makes it.
When I've done a lap.
It makes it very easy to pick you guys out at the beginning of a race with how vibrant your color is.
You're very
all
welcome.
We want
Thank
to
you.
be noticed.
It also makes it a lot easier when I'm trying to guess. Oh, what team does this driver race for? Oh wait, it's
What's
Mint. Let me guess.
Entirely
Just like,
Yes.
I wonder. Oh, that must be Will.
a lot of
If
teams
car
have
is
two
Mint, driver
cores.
is Mint.
If it's quick and it's Mint, it's Justin. If it's slow and it's Mint, it's Will.
True.
Exactly.
Valid.
There we are.
Like, imagine having more.
Yeah, Indy cards.
Imagine
What
having
happened there,
more than
bro?
one
With
color.
F1 in 2015, the American is fast and the Brit is slow.
Exactly. It's
Yes.
just manner all over again.
Ah, manor racing, but brighter.
The 53 at the back. Oh my god, Jeremy just died. Oh my god. Go on, Aiden, saying purple sectors already. Fucking hell, man.
30.
He actually is as well.
Negative 35.
That's an average pace gap. What you on about? Go on, dude. Go on, son. I believe in you.
I want that post to that sub 1 minute lap
Oh,
now. Aiden.
he
Come
is
on.
P9. The
Bro, I didn't even use curves
123.
until the last straight.
It's better than me. It's better than me. You using cards? Oh my god.
Imagine using cars.
What is cards? I only know engine.
I only know.
I don't know where that goes, though.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to tell Stream what Curse is because we only know Engine from 2009.
Do you want me to give you the explanation for the really cool people watching the stream?
Thank you, Will, for taking that place from me.
Okay, so if you are really cool and watch that really cool video by Red Bull in 2014, you'll see that they had a little button on their wheel which gives them battery power that is recharged through braking. It is called the Kinetic Energy Recovery System, where you press car go fast for like 8 seconds and then stops, and then you have to, well, it recharges, but you only get like 8 seconds a lap.
Wait, we can
That was
use
the
that?
explanation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep doing
if you're a
fast lap
psycho,
first.
if you're a psychopath, you run 50 brake bites and you get the maximum recharge because it's all in the rear brakes.
Exactly. Oh, let's go.
Time to turn ABS on.
Oh my god, I just admitted to doing the fastest lap of our
human
cars.
ABS. You're gonna have to need that for 50 brake bias. 'Cause
I mean, your car just like
Proper
spin.
iRacing
Cool.
Mazda moment.
in F122 you can get away with it, but I think a set of courses are a little bit more realistic than that.
F1's
A little more
bad.
of a statement.
Because I think when I drove this car, I needed like 52, 53 brake bias, but that was only testing.
What the fuck? I think I'm on like 56.
56.
Yeah, well, 56 and a half. I've
I don't know what I'm.
I
Brake
don't
bias
know.
I'm on. What brake bias? I only know brake. I'm a
Actually, let
57.
me load up my content manager and check setups so I can actually tell you what my brake bias was.
Go on.
Okay, setups.
I just take
Blah, blah,
someone's
blah, blah,
setup,
blah.
smack it on, and just accept that I'm driving that setup now.
That's what I did.
Make one setup and then drive it for the rest of my life.
Brake
I see setup in
pressure.
chat.
Oh, I have brake bias 57.
Now.
Haha.
Why is it so
See,
far
my brake
forwards?
bias is backwards.
Whoa, is
Pass
that
me.
minty fresh in front of me?
If I was running like I think with my setup I was running 0 on the rear anti-roll bar for some reason.
What the fuck does that even mean?
It means
like,
the rear end.
excuse me, what's a roll bar? What's
What
a
is
roll bar?
bar rolls? Why
What's
is it
a
rolling?
tyre?
It's Will KB engine is your turn 1.
Does I just want to check.
What's
Does
the
everyone
time?
on this team stream?
I do.
I do.
I don't.
Most of this team
Yeah,
streams.
we
Cool.
got-
This is the content creator team.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
the biggest channel
that's
because Will is a bozo.
Front ARB.
Shut up. All you play is F122. Be quiet.
No.
Yeah, my rear ARB
Yes.
was 0. I literally
I am-
took the spring out of the rear of the car.
I am
Oh
the
my God.
background character.
Background character with Pete's faster than the main fucking first driver.
Yeah, yeah, a good spread. No matter where I'm looking on the grid, I will see.
You'll find
Minty
someone.
fresh.
You'll find someone. Oh, it fucking
looking
reminds
the-
me of Spa last season, where it was just like the top 2, and then I was just there as a back marker.
Yep. I think I remember that. Yeah, it was a great race.
That
Hey,
was me in the gravel card.
thank
Oh,
course it
ooh.
was.
hello.
What happened to Mateus there? Fucking hell.
you watching the stream?
Yes, I am watching the stream. I got nothing better to do.
Bro just went
Hey, then let's see
No.
your P11.
nice.
It's P11 still.
How late can he brake?
Just don't. Oh. You just wouldn't break. Just fucking start turning.
When you make the god setup and you just don't need your brakes.
It's fucking some wheel video of all of last year.
Red Bull X 2010.
Samuel in this last year it's all in the suspension.
It was that car was so unbelievably ass, bro. You'd see how much we'd complain about it race by race.
Yeah, the two thing is, out of all the drivers, Nassim, I spoke to Nassim just now, and he said he preferred the Red Bull to this. Oh, he preferred the he preferred the
I fucking
Williams.
heard that, and I'm like, what are you on, bro? What drugs are you? Can I have some of them, please?
No, he just his driving style was more preferred to the stupid amount of oversteer that it gave you compared to the more stability
He's
this
like a
gives
Formula B
you.
driver.
Yeah, how did I drive a controller? I still don't understand how I did that.
I'm
what,
not sure
doing
if this, did this car have the blown diffuser. That's probably why it's so stable and understeery.
No, that was 2012.
2012, okay. Because I was going to say that probably explains why Nassim doesn't like it, because he is very much a make car drift.
Well, he can
No,
go.
these
he can
cars are
do
very
negative
understeering.
wheel
He like him and Phoenix and Samuel are fast in any car.
Yeah.
Like I've seen them
Well,
race in
I'll
Formula
check
Student
the
cars.
distance
They're
as well.
stupid quick. I've seen them race in the F2009. Now in the 2012 car. There isn't a car they aren't fast in.
No, of course not, because they're all car nerds.
Car nerds.
I've just seen
Ooh.
fucking
Oh, shit.
Cohen's
Man.
thing on stream, and I need to update that helmet. I'm just gonna at Team like, boss man, I need to update the helmet because I forgot to.
Cohen getting a bit on the grass there.
Want to talk about?
It's average. It's average.
I mean, I think I've
Oh,
seen
my
about
man with juice.
5 or 6
My
drivers
man
get
with
on there.
juice.
Also, Ethan, I must ask, what happened? What happened in Barber? Do you want to explain to your beautiful viewers?
Oh no.
What was that little moment there?
What happened? Oh, oh god. Which one? What, the moment between me and you, or the start?
That whole like battle between me and you.
Oh, that
was
was
like, I think, yeah, you were like slightly faster in the first sector, and then by the second sector, I'd have you.
I think we were equal in the last sector. I was faster in the first sector, and you were like a 10th faster in the middle sector. And so
I just had
it was like,
commitment to like the
Yeah.
snake. Because like you set out the inside like a couple times, and you backed out because I was like, haha, no, you're not having that. Oh, fucking hell, Aiden, go on, son. Oh, man,
yeah, you were all over the road, but defending.
Oh, you know, it's difficult to drive those cars like
Yeah,
on
it's
controller.
so difficult. You're on
Like-
controller?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's like, and then going into the hairpin, I did send it, and then I tapped you.
I think tapping was an understatement.
This goes cheap.
It on the inside. It's a great thumbnail, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
that's the point.
And then I took too much curb on the fast chicane, and you got past me.
I wasn't very happy with the happen, so I just screamed, "You dick!"
Yeah, that was a great battle though.
No, it was funny. Like,
Yeah,
it's like looking back at it, it's great fun. It was hilarious.
I love to catch you on track in Long Beach, because that's a street track. So
I love Long Beach. Yeah.
Oh,
let me see
oh my
when that
God.
race is happening.
oh,
let me
next
check
month.
that.
It's next month.
Oh no, I think I'm busy that day. Oh, shame. I'm unfortunate.
Unlucky.
It's
Crashing that day.
For Long Beach.
it's an iffy track. Like, it's not
I think
that bad.
the mod
It's not
itself
that
is shit
good.
as well.
But it's not that bad. I've enjoyed it just because I can drive cars fast.
Ah,
Yeah,
Yeah, shows why I'm commentating right now, because I can drive car fast.
Nice 18.6 Santa. How nice! 1.2 seconds off.
Wait a
What
second.
the fuck?
Let me just
Yo, what? You did an 18?
18.6.4. Oh my god.
Santa, calm down.
Justin is on something else. Are we gonna have Minty Fresh fighting for the championship this year with times like that?
Yeah, decide to
I'm a
skip
reserve
races.
driver.
It's ironic how I picked the fastest drivers to be my reserve drivers.
Oh,
And
it's
it's
just
just
in
me.
reserve.
Who's the main
Oh
guy.
my.
I'm
It's
reserved.
like Odren or Brady and Ujental last year,
Mm.
last season, whatever, same difference. But it was just really funny because they'd both be like a billion times quicker than me, and I'd be like, "Yeah, you can be a reserve driver." And it was like fucking the first race that Brady reserved in, he fucking smashed it like immediately. He won, and then the second race he reserved in, he got killed by Daniel Soel because he spun and forgot what brakes were. So unfortunate.
Yeah.
Uh,
Brakes are a difficult thing, you know. Where it's like, yeah, brakes just difficult. When
if
Justin
you
comes
spin,
to the
you
pit
must
lane-
only press in the gas pedal. That's the rule, right?
Of
I
course, of
You
think
must
so.
suck up
Yeah.
your tires and then like get in the way of everyone. Like, may I remind, like, I think it was 2016 Spain or something like that. That was great.
Thank you for letting me sit with you for a little bit. I'm just gonna go and see who else wants to talk with me.
Remember,
It's
we
okay,
are
you
the
can-
funniest team. We are the funniest
Yeah,
team.
we're
Nobody
the
else can be
Funniest
funny.
team. If I ever need someone to come to mid race about how their race is going, it's Minty Fresh. I'll remember that.
shit, really fast because you're Justin.
Yeah, thank you very
Lapping the
much.
field.
I'm actually going to start doing mid-race interviews because that'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, no, I'll ask Timo, but I might try that. I'll ask Timo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, you're the commentator. Just override it. Just do it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good session and have a good season. Goodbye.
Bye.
And that was the self-proclaimed funniest team on the grid, the Minty Fresh Mugen, who possibly my favourite drivers off track and funniest drivers off track, and greatest field spread on track. There's like 26 drivers haven't been in the session, so my left-hand side of my screen is just packed. Because it's meant to be like 26, but I've maxed it to 22. I might add some more. Can I raise it up anymore? No, okay, so max. Cool. So I'm just gonna. Oh, they're tired. That's confusing. Anyway, I'll go back to letting the auto cam run it, and I'll just get my config up and show you all how this works. So. Where is it? That's timer. There's config. There it is. Oh, there it is. Cool. So here is config. You see if I can. If I hit 30 there, you can see all the drivers now, but it will end up spilling out. So I'm going to limit it to 26. Limit it to 25 just so it doesn't quite hit the bottom. Auto cam, I'll move to the opposite corner just so it isn't 2 in the way. And then I'll... There. Show tyres. Yes, please. Oh, that's great. Cool. I'm keeping that. That's lovely. That's useful. Will that just turn on, like, procedurally now? I need that on all the time to see who I'm looking at. Yeah, that's useful. I'm keeping that up. So, yeah, the moment nobody's on the soft tyre, Aiden is stopped on the side of the track because he wants even more attention than he just got. And we'll just look at Victor Bernat, the fastest IndyCar driver I've ever seen. So, an update for the people that only watch Assetto Corsa, because we don't actually commentate stream the IndyCar because it's not the main thing for the league. We do run an IndyCar league, which has started. We have done round 1. If you want to see it from the slowest driver on the grid's point of view, go watch Will. If you want the second slowest, go watch mine. And so basically, both Aquail Racing drivers took a 1-2. Then it was a Bijou Racing 3-4, I think. I was 4th, but then I missed the start. And so got sent to the pit lane and had to fight with Will. And that was a great fight. Otherwise, I think I fought with Sarah, but I was a back marker, so I was just like fighting for no reason. That was fun. I'll message the Aquail Racing guys, but I'm not sure how much they'll like to speak because they're both muted. Apologies to anyone that didn't like what the Minty Fresh guys were racing. They were being a little bit open with the language. So apologies to anyone offended. I know Will's going to be laughing at me saying that already because I know he's watching stream. And message to that driver. We have had 24 drivers in this, and there are only 10 drivers and like 6 on track. Bum 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 dum dum. Timo in the number 39 in P8. I'm not sure what tyres he's on though. The overkill driver of Antoine Robert on the super softs. Sarah on the soft tyre. XL on the soft tyre and Halm on the super softs. Now watch Robert. He's got a negative delta. He is P10 at the minute. You can see his board is not telling us the speed at which he was going, but different information. I don't know what makes it different. Maybe it's a setup thing. I don't know actually. So we have the Spanish driver who speak as a Spanish, which would be easier than driving. Anyway, 22.9 from Alex so far on the super soft tyre. He's on a run at the minute, so I think we're just going to leave him be. And there aren't really that many other teams that I can speak to. I could try contact the Leadpool Racing drivers and ask if it's possible to get them on stream to talk about the car, or I could get Timo in, but I think I'll leave Timo until the end just because he's sort of the big finale, because he's this league runner. And actually, I want to speak to the Breaking Point guys at some point because they are they are rapid. I was about to say they were rapid, but then Anastasov's only 12 because he's DC'd. So I might leave you with just like for another. I might give like that is a lead pool racing driver off of the track actually. So I will find out which one. Mulvetova. There we are. Where is Mulvetova? My friend that I cannot pronounce correctly. Oh, there is 2 Ledpool racing cars facing in completely opposite directions. Donuts. I think that is them. Dim. I can stay there. Alright, let's limit the board. I'll leave it for now. Yeah, I'll leave it for a couple of minutes just to get replies, and I'll let you enjoy an onboard from our good friend Timo. And I will just mute.
Oh, do you want me to hop on the server again?
Hop on the server would be good. It doesn't matter if you're on or not. We're just talking about the car. You don't have to actually be on track.
I might be able to show the car a little bit better.
Good. But yeah, so we are here with the Leadpour racing driver of... I have no idea how to say your name.
Just Captain Munu. Or Mateusz Mai. Just Mai.
Maya will be good. There we are.
Yeah, Matt will be.
Because I was going to call you Madge for some reason, because...
Every single British person does it. So don't worry.
British pronunciations.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, it's lovely speaking to you. How do you feel about the car so far today? Because we've had a lot of very differing opinions.
I like the way the car handles. It feels very light as compared to our later generation, the Formula Hybrid cars. It feels very nice, very on the nose. It's actually a joy to drive. You can chuck the car into a corner and it will stick.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a little bit of time in the car, only a couple, sort of 10 or so laps, and even just with like some small setup changes, it can be really stable and still really on the nose, which I think is just a really good way of setting up a car. Oh, there you is. Yeah. Oop.
This is, we call them MOG. Warming strategy.
Professional strategy. We've seen Lewis Hamilton do it many a time.
Yeah. We're just sandbagging it in the pre-season.
Yeah. Yeah, it's lovely to hear that you're liking the car so far. How do you feel How do you feel the season is going to go for you so far? Looking at the lineup of tracks, are there any that you really like, any that you don't like so much?
Well, Mugello is definitely one I'm not too keen on myself.
Luckily, it's only pre-season.
Yeah, luckily it's only pre-season. I haven't been too. Brazil hasn't been too kind to me in the past. But apart from that, I don't mind track. I enjoy most of the tracks, unless they're like god awful. No, feeling pretty good. Feeling like we've got a decent driver lineup. Sarah is fast in whatever she drives. Oh, we're feeling pretty good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. So, any sort of last little things before I go away, or you got anything just to say in general?
Just keep an eye on us. Might surprise a few people.
Keep an eye on their paw, and they will win a race at some point.
Yep.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for letting me chat with you for a little bit. I mean, I've got a lot of time to kill, so I've got to chat with someone. Thank you very much, and have a good season.
Thank you.
That was the Leadpour racing driver of May. Not Madge, like the British. May. And the Quail racing drivers are chilled. We have no one on the server at the minute apart from Timo and the Minty Fresh drivers, who have all left their server. So we have Samuel, who... I could try and speak with Samuel and those guys. I could just talk with Timo for a little bit. Or I could try and find a way to burn some time. Actually, if I leave and... Okay, I'll leave and rejoin quick with controller movement on. I will message in server chat saying, watch out, I'm doing a lap. And I will do the most scuffed lap you've ever seen. Yeah, cool. It's pre-season. Okay. So I will leave and rejoin. Let me change the thing quick. Which one is it? Is it this one? That'll do. Cool. Make sure I'm on keyboard and mouse controls because it's broken. Settings, keyboard and mouse. Oh, I'm on keyboard and mouse anyway. Cool. So I'm gonna get told off by Timo, but I'm having fun. Plus, there's still an hour to go, so it's like Timo will join in a second, saying, "Ethan, what are you doing?" I'll be like, doing a safety car lap. Because, you know, like, riding on board's good and all, but, like, actually chatting with the driver whilst he's on a lap is really good. Those Minty Fresh guys are great. Absolutely mega. I've just got, like, a bowl of strawberry lace I'm working my way through. Just to fill my own time. So, yeah, this is actually... Oh, give me a second. This is a more accurate representation of how timings look. Justin Kelly first by just under a second. Then we have Fulgio Phoenix. Then Samuel Ivanov, our former world champ, our reigning world champion even. Victor Bernat in the 28. Sarah Mulevitova. I'm going to say it wrong every single day. Every single race. I'm sorry if you don't like how I'm saying things. A, I'm eating. B, this is a long old session. There are 32 drivers that could join. And Tio hasn't joined yet. Disappointed. Jokes. I don't care. I've been chatting to no one for a little bit. Anyway, so basically, I've just messaged Timo asking, can I drive the Alfa Romeo on the track mid-session? Oh, he's going to do a donut return to pits, check his Discord. Good to see. And then I'll just go sit in VC with the Minty Fresh of Justin Kelly. Oh, what a coincidence. I actually didn't control this. I'm eating. Instead. Rapid lad, eh? Proper rapid lads in here. How I stand any chance against them, especially in my Alfa Romeo, I don't know. I'm going to set about a 2-minute lap. So there'll be a slightly bigger and slightly slower car on track at some point. I'll actually check who's having a go in chat, because there's a good chance there's someone. Or at least one. There's always one. That was probably forever ago, but for future streams, I'll filter and gain only like 2.5 decibels. now isn't too much louder than me because I'm redlining. Well past redlining, actually. Where am I? There we are. Oh yeah, I'm like redlining well past it. But yes, so... Tis what it is. Timo's on a hard tire. I think this is one of the first ones. That's a horrible camera angle that this constantly chooses. So I'll work on that. But Timo on the hard tire quickly. Riding ball with a lap of him. I've tried to up the gain to 6 decibels for a circle, but I don't know how much better that's going to be. That shows just how much grip you get from these hard tires. Anyway, back to computer controlling it. We're Alex with a plane helmet. Interesting. I'll actually mute myself and jump into Discord VC with him quick. And I'm now here with the Bijou Racing driver of Timo and Titania, who is actually on track at the minute. Timo, how do you feel about the car and the hard tyres and whatever other tyres you've been using throughout the sessions?
I don't like this car.
No?
No.
Is it like too understeery, too oversteery? Where's it sitting?
Well, it's incredible to drive for me.
Mm.
So my driving style is not good for this car.
Ah.
So for the last season car is better,
Mm.
and for this season car is not good at the moment.
Yeah, because I think we had the same thing with Nassim, where he wasn't quite sure on the car at the minute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but you must learn for this car to driving. So I think for more people is this car lovely to drive. So, but for me and for my teammate, it's not good at the moment. But we working hard with this car, and so we hope we have a good season. And yeah.
Yeah, there's still the entire season to go to give it some practice. Yes, it was lovely chatting with you. And am I allowed to race? Am I allowed to drive the Alfa Romeo around the track?
Yeah.
Yay!
Good luck.
Good,
Driving.
good luck.
Driving the Alfa Romeo. That's nice.
I'll go join the Minty Fresh boys so
Oh.
they can take the mick out of me. Anyway, have a good session. Have a good season. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay, so you heard the mans. I will set myself. How do I hit myself? Back to pits and drive. Me. Cool. There we are. This is the angle I need. Cool. So, boys, you're on stream. I've been told I'm allowed to drive the Alfa Romeo.
Uh-oh.
Hey, so guess what?
Time to bully the Alpha.
No.
Time for bullying.
And so, for a demonstration of this track, hey, too close. I'm braking at the 100, which is too late for me, but not for these guys in the F1 car. Taking second gear, going up to third, and sliding completely out of the corner. Nope, we're all good. Down to second in the Alpha, and then going what? Oh, there's something on my mouse or something, because every so often it will just like flick really hard when I try and correct something. So let me just reverse quickly. Oh, you guys coming. There we are. Well, that isn't you guys still. So if I flick too hard, it will be really aggressive with it. Cool. Well, Timo's on his way. I gotta move. Yes, so...
No blue flags. Just get into your racing.
I think it'd be a good race because of how fast the corners are. You can't quite get past me because I'm too slow. Taking 100k through the corners when you're taking 300. Oh, there's Timo. What? Brake. As a racing driver, my excuse is I'm on keyboard and mouse. There we are.
Very well.
Second, third. Cool, I got a little bit clearer air now. And so through here would be almost flat in an F1 car. It definitely isn't flat in this car. I can get a little bit of a drift in though.
If you try hard enough and don't end up in the barrier, it's fine.
So let me return to pits and just turn a couple of like on-screen things on, so I know what's going on with the car. Cool. So Control M, open up my two apps that I use to know what's going on. That one. And anyway, guys, how's it going? I did kind of just join you because I thought you'd be a bit more Mickey taking.
We're the funny team, you know.
You're the funny team. That's why I've joined you. Here we are. So now I can actually see what's going on. Just going out now. I'm right behind. Who am I behind? Someone.
Everyone's behind you.
Oh, there we are.
Time to bully the Alpha.
What? Locking. Just overtake me. God damn it! I'm understeering like a bus because I'm driving a bus.
Gotta practice the safety car, you know?
As the safety car do be drifting.
The unsafety car.
Unsafety car.
This is gonna be the safety car in the race. I don't think there's gonna be a safety car for very long.
Should I slow down just so that Victor can actually overtake me? Because I'm not sure if he thinks he can or not.
No, it's safety car. You can't. Oh, safety, unsafety car. Oh shit! Oh shit!
Oh, I'm in neutral. Oh, fuck. This is why I stayed in the commentator's booth. Someone let me out on track and everything's gone wrong.
Oh, drift. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, but everything's fine.
You're doing the tour, no? You're the
I'm
Hulk, you know.
no. I'm
Little
look.
right-hander.
It's difficult driving on keyboard and
Come on.
mouse.
Lift little left-hander here. A solid, maybe third gear. I don't know.
If you're driving Formula 1 cars, it's a lot easier for you driving at safety car speed.
No, I would try and drive that car if I was allowed to.
Oh, it's difficult. I'm just gonna stop in the middle of this corner and just go back.
If
to
I get
pits, 'cause
permission
this
to
is a
join as
struggle.
that car, I will do a lap. But I don't think I am going to get permission to drive as that car.
Cool. Let's turn off mouse controls. Let's turn off those apps. That was a little bit of
Oops.
fun. Anyway, now we are on with Cohen. Why don't you give us a tour of the lap?
Apologize. Oh, you can commentate on my perspective. even
Okie
though I'm
dokie.
probably gonna spin.
Through the final corner, taking somewhat of an early apex compared to how I would drive the lap, bringing the car out all the way to the right.
Hey,
To get
you can't say anything about yourself now after that performance. Come on.
Fine. Crossing the line to start a lap. Down to the first corner, braking just after the 100-meter board. Down to turn 1, taking a lot of speed, well after the 100-meter board. Good middle of the corner apex, as you do with most corners. Good apex speed. Third gear through here, at about 110, 120 kilometers an hour. And then braking at some point, actually not sure when there. But taking fourth gear through the second chicane. Third chicane in this track, because it's just a track of very weird chicane things. Taking it in fifth, almost flat out. And a double right-hander, which can be flat out on super soft tyres. But in a race condition, you might lift a little bit to save the tyre. And then down to the third chicane lap, taking it in third gear. Lovely little apexes there from Cohen, using as much of the track as possible. Braking when you see the ambulance on the left. Taking the car all the way around. Clipping the curbs with the flat out chicane, which is about the fourth of the track. And then down to the hairpin, little bit wide. There was an apex in there somewhere. Flat out to the line to set a 1 minute 21.1, putting him third on the super soft tyre.
A
Thank
solid
you.
3 second, 3/10 faster through that commentary alone.
Yes, and then still 2-3 seconds behind your teammate, and you're
Hey,
just beaten
hey,
by
hey.
the Dame Racing driver.
Oh fuck.
I don't actually know where you are out of everyone, because I left and rejoined just to double check I could actually drive the car with my keyboard and mouse. So I don't know. Anyway,
but I don't know.
Thank
What's that like
you.
in the giant ranking.
thank you for taking the track guide for me 2 hours into the stream, but that was my
Oh
fault.
yeah. It's like,
Anyway, goodbye. Have a good
no
season.
problem. Goodbye.
That was the Minty Fresh, the funny team. I'm calling them the funny team from now on. Difficult to miss these cars. Oop, I've hit something. Anyway, I'm just gonna waltz around the track for a little bit. So I'll take a bit of a more detailed look at the track as I try and get to turn 1 before him. I'm not going to. This isn't fast enough. It's like this feels faster, but it is just as fast. Oh, he's going to make it there before me. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. Ha. So we'll sit for a couple of minutes each corner. And I'll just explain to you how the corner is. Where is he? There he is, my friend. Cool. And so you're braking sort of around where this wall is. The drivers will sort of see that on the left and hit their brakes. You see there, and then coming through the corner, you can even see by the slight difference. I pull up quick, you can see sort of where the racing line sits with sort of where the tarmac's grooved in. You can see they bring it sort of a later apex sort of sitting here instead of sort of the middle of the corner. There's Timo giving us a good show, not quite using all the track and bringing it out to the left, as you can see here. And then I'm not quite sure where the braking is. I think you just have to sort of feel it out, or maybe use this board, so it's like just before the board. But it's very much just sort of brake and turn at the same time, bringing the car in all the way onto this apex. And you can see the Tire marks are floating a little bit because of Assetto Corsa being weird like that. You want to try and keep it as far to the left as possible, but lots of people bring it out sort of to the... can you see my mouse? I don't think you can. You can't. Cool. How do I make you see my mouse? Properties, capture mouse. Okay, there we are. Now, okay. So some drivers will sort of bring the car out to here-ish more, a little bit further out instead of keeping it in. But there, the car was kept in very nicely. As we go to the second corner, you don't really have to brake. It's just sort of keep it in here. You can even see where the grooves and where the tires come over there, and then you use just as much of this curb as possible. Look at how big the curb is. The entire car could fit on it, as shown by the Stam Racing driver, the team name driver. That's how I commentate. And then you can see where the tire marks come through, and then as you get onto the straight, you don't see them as much just because they aren't being quite as aggressively pushed into the track. And as we come down, I'm actually not sure. It probably is around 50 meters, I'd say. Maybe a little bit later than 50, maybe 25 meters for this corner, because it's still very fast as we're about to see a driver go through here. Timo, I believe, yes. Because you can see you're getting sort of white line, not quite using the curb. I think depending on the car and track, depending on the car, you might use a bit more of this curb, but I'm guessing just to make it a little bit easier, he didn't use the curb there. And coming through this second one again, so just sort of keep it as far to the left. You want to be compromising your entry to the first one, so turning a bit later, slowing down more to be able to get a better entry, all the way through this second part, which sort of leads you onto a very fast part of track. There's a cameraman up there. Where's my friend? And then sort of through here, you can see sort of where the grooves sit, where you'd want to sort of catch the curb, sort of use a lot of curb. Same with that one, but they don't really. So they'll just sort of sit on the white line, and then again using as much of the curb. The cars can sit on it. I believe that there's a car coming through. We should see here. Yep, using all of the curb, taking a very fast right-hander, braking around where you'd see either this building or maybe even there's Timo braking sort of at that building, or maybe even here, just because they're sort of lifting a little bit so they don't come too far out onto the grass, as we've seen lots of drivers doing. If I come back a little bit, you can see sort of, if I were to take a line, you can see some drivers sort of coming in and taking too much speed and getting out here, some sort of being like that-ish, when, as you can see by the tarmac, you want to be sort of hitting your apex here on the corner so that you can bring it out and in here. I didn't do that. Again, I'm not a driver. And then sort of through here, it's just flat out, and then we might see it here, where you just want, I think that's car on the way. Yeah, you want to use just as much curb on the right here, sort of all four tires off of the tarmac, but as long as they're on this curbing here, the coloured curbing, not the red sausage curbish thing, which they put on the exit corners, which drivers do use as much of as possible. Here, it can be flat out. It depends. For Formula 1 cars, oh my god, I'm moving this camera a lot, aren't I? But for Formula 1 cars, it is flat out. If I sit here quick, that feels like almost flat out. You've got to watch out for this curb, because it can throw your car off, but so being like flat out to almost flat out can get you through this very easily. And taking it to this second part is easily flat out, even after taking this first one flat out. It's a lot on the tyres, and you do have to use that exit curb quite a lot, which we'll get to once I've slowly moved along. So here, it's flat out. You want to be taking, personally, I'd say a later apex is sort of just hugging it. You can see there, later apex sitting here, I was thinking. And then we should see as a car might be on their way, and I'll just sort of do the janky follow. And the zoom is so janky on her. As we wait for a car to come through, I'll get a good angle on that exit part there, just so we can see the car line up on the curb. As we just sit and we wait, as no one's coming through. Pietro is the closest. He is miles away. Oh, look, someone taking the hairpin. Well, that's down to the main straight. Oh, this is a lovely bit of track. Look, I can see anyone coming through there, so we could have just seen him and then boo. Anyway, As we wait for drivers, there is JK Justin Kelly on his way, fastest driver on the track. As he comes through now, following him along, you can see he uses a lot of curb on the exit. Again, good amount of the exit curb, just to prove it. And we will now shimmy along to this left-right, which is sort of a third, fourth gear corner, depending on the driver. It is a lot slower than most canes. There should be a driver about to come through here, maybe. Or is he over there? He's probably over there. Here we are, look. You can see it's a lot slower because you have to get the car all the way over to be able to take this, because this is probably one of the tighter corner exits, because you can take this well and still end up sort of touching the gravel, even though it felt similar to other corners. So it's quite, see, track narrows quite a lot compared to sort of, it feels like it's narrower. Like, it might be the exact same, but still, when you're driving it, it does feel like it narrows. And then going down to the hairpin, I took a complete guess in the dark for the braking here, which is extremely late, but just sort of like here-ish is sort of the braking point. Sort of latest braking can sort of be around here. Early braking can be here, but sort of that is the box way. We'll see braking. You can see little lockups from drivers as they've come in. Oh, that's not a lockup, that's a spin there. And there's a little board telling you corner, turn in. As there's been a little spin here, it seems. Maybe locking tires. Where are people on track? It's gonna take forever. Oh, Pietro is coming through here, so I'll follow him through this hairpin. You'll see that the car will slow down quite a lot. And down to this great hairpin. See, late apex, again, quite a tight exit, and then flat out through the left and the right. And then heading all the way down to that hairpin, which I can't zoom in enough for. So if I, how far away am I? Oh, look above some cars. Lovely. Anyway, as we now follow on past here, it's very difficult actually, because usually you'd sort of come out here and end up all over this curb. Is how I've had it a couple of times, and you sort of have to bring it to the right enough so you can take a lot of curb here and a lot of curb here, just sort of to cut down the line, because it's flat out, so it's not gaining much. And then if you head all the way down here, I'm braking sort of this in the 50-meter board, sort of like when I get next to them. So I'm actually braking probably about here, because it's when I visually can't see them. But that is sort of the area in which you're braking, sort of next to the 50-meter board. And then what I would do is keep it out, as you can see from the tarmac line, you keep it out for a bit longer, and then you bring it in here-ish. So then you can just straight line it down to the end of the track, which is just there. That little bridge there can also help you know when you're at the end. The grid positions, which there are a lot of. I don't feel like I'm going to have a car catching me at any point before I get to the end. And then you get to the end of the lap where you have the start, finish, and a timing board. None of this is actually working. I don't think this might be. This I don't believe is. By the fact that we're in the middle of a session and there's no time on it. But that usually would say the time left in the session, or laps maybe. That I'm not sure. That would be, it has the number 5 on, so I'm not sure what that is for. Maybe it's for safety car and such. And then that's just for the lights at the beginning of the race. And so now if I just sit on top of here, we can watch drivers drive past for a little bit. Well, actually, he's on track. On board with the fastest driver on track at the moment, which is Justin Kelly. He's set a 118 point something or another, but I don't know because I left and rejoined. long old session. Oof, so much going on. Now I'm gonna leave with the sound of the cars for a little bit. I'll just mute and I'll be back. Hello stream, I am back. I'm definitely not loading up chess. Oh, everyone's doing a little bit of spinning now after. So we're getting to near the end of a set and then end of the tire testing session. So it's sort of like everyone's put a lot of stress on their tires, and so now we're just sort of testing the amount of wear the tires can take, and so how much grip they have at a certain amount of wear. Is this my move yet on these games? No. So I'm talking about my own chess. Oh, our game almost ended there. Running out of time on a 24-hour game. Anyway, so I'm gonna not pay any attention and play chess for a bit, like 2 games of chess, and then we'll have to just see how the session goes. At the moment, I don't actually know how the timings look. I know that Justin Kelly's fastest by like 9/10 of a second. I actually don't. I think that's it. Ah, you idiot. No, complete that. Pin his piece. I'm gonna do that. See, I know what I'm doing. Like at chess, not quite at this whole commentating thing. Then that goes there. He's gonna move his knight to take. He's not. Okay, I'm just gonna castle. You guys know what I'm talking about, though, 'cause this is my chess game so far. I'll just mute. quick thing to say. Firstly, thank you to any viewers that are still that are watching and have been watching since the beginning. We're getting to the quite dead part of the session where all the drivers have decided I don't want to. All the drivers decided I don't want to race, because this is only a practice session, and there's not much more to talk about. I've somehow nattered on for 2.5 hours. I know, I feel bad for anyone that talks to me in person. And a little bit grass there. Still, look, 2.5 hours in, and some drivers are still making mistakes. But then drivers like, I think Kelly, Timo, and Anastasov are 3 drivers that have been here since the beginning. Lunki, I think, joined a little bit late, and Diavsky also joined about half hour to an hour in. So, thank you firstly to those 4 drivers that have been here the entire 2.5 hours. That was water. That was some weird ass sounds. But yeah, this has been a great session. I'd hope to see just as good racing. And yeah, car go brrrr. Maybe you could try softening the front wheel rate, because he seems to be struggling with the front of the car. And if he just stiffens the rear of the car, it will rotate more. It will be less controllable, but it will rotate more. Maybe he has to mess about with like the bump and stuff, because I've started doing that and my cars have felt absolutely beautiful and amazing. They've been on the like really uncontrollable side, but that's how I like my cars. The more front turn in, the better. And like, I didn't even have like a good setup for this car when I set my 2022-8. Oh, that's just the rear being a little bit too stiff and the brake bias being a little bit too far back, it looked like. Or turning whilst braking, which, especially if you have your brake bias too far back, that can do it. Timo, get on track. Anyway, so right on with Rost and Astasov. Racing for KFC Breaking Point Racing. Actually, I'll just sit and have a look at this livery for a bit. They're sponsored by Google and the Google Pixel 7, also KFC, Sim Racing GP. There's an Astasov there. Orange, they're sponsored by NordVPN. SGP, there's the FIA just on the hood there. They have a Mercedes engine in the back of this. That sounds more like a Renault, but oh well. You can see this team has opted to put the flags for the drivers on one side of the wing mirror and put a sponsor on the other. Oh, as the car spins, I can quickly have a look at the rear wing, but they've also decided to put the flag for the driver. While with It'Stem Racing, they have the sort of a 3-color thing with It'Stem Gaming, and saying that on Twitch and YouTube. A couple of sponsors, a QR code to something. A few crests, it seems, on the rear there and side of the car. as we watch with someone, number 60. Lamborghini Tech have the Mojang sponsor, the Lamborghini sponsor, and the Perugian sponsor. They're also sponsored by Avalanche, who also sponsors Avalanche Andretti Racing. We have the Mission Winnow sponsor on the front there, and the number 27 for Pietro Lunghi. There's a Kinder sponsor on the rear wing, and underneath, Lamborghini. As I sit, just looking at the exhaust of the car and having a listen. There's a couple of lights there, you can see the LEDs. This gives me blown diffuser vibes, sort of just big, massive black on the side of the car, which that isn't seem to be forced to be black, but Bijou Racing gone with keeping it sort of as carbon fiber. There could have been hints of it, but it could have been not as aggressive as 2012. I'm taking a look at the actual aerodynamic design of this car, because firstly you've got this barge board, which is interesting, obviously just to push air out of the car. Front wing elements to keep it down. The rear is a little interesting. Diffusers are interesting. This is quite a low one, not pushing too much air, and there isn't the double diffuser, or at least not as aggressively as it could be. All cars the same here. I'll let my computer run it for the next 20 minutes. Yeah, I might just let stream barrel on because I've got nothing to say. I don't race too aggressively. Damien Gaming and Beige Racing. Ooh, it's Dame Racing. Is he even on the session? I don't think so. Oh, this could be him. Oh, not long to go. I'm just gonna mute and let you enjoy the sound of the cars as they fly past. Just loading and reloading so you can hear the game. We have 20 minutes, just under 20 minutes of the session to go. Enjoy. There's 5 drivers and there's not much else going on. Everyone's on the softest compounded tyre now, just trying to set fastest lap as the temps. I don't know about temperatures, to be honest. Sun starts to set a little bit. Timo drifting a Formula car. And I enjoy the next 20 minutes. Because I'm going to be trying to hop off as early as I can. I'm going to drive this car a little bit more for fun. Let's make sure no one's on the pit straight too much. And then Control M to use my mouse Control M to use my mouse to steer. Make sure I'm centered. Just doing a couple of laps just to give you a view of how it looks in a normal car to drive a track such as this. No, I've never said that it'd be a good lap, I just said it'll be a lap. What? I can do like 2 laps just to kill a bit of time. What? Whoa. Oh, there we are. I'm just concentrating to get this lap done and not make any make too many mistakes. What? There we are. There's my mouse having a weird moment. And then there were 3 with 3 minutes to go. Here we are, actually taking the final corner. Here is a final lap of this track. I'm going to do it in less than 2 minute 40. But I don't know, but just but. I was just taking the perfect line. And that is it. After 3 hours of grueling streaming, this is all of the drivers that actually got to the end of the session. Me, Timo, and Pietro Fittipaldi. No, Pietro Lungini. Thank you all. I will leave this session now. Thank you very much for joining. Let me load up OBS so I can show you the correct screen. There you are. Thank you all very much for joining me. I'll catch you again on the 20th of February for the Tunisian Grand Prix, hopefully. I might not be as regular an appearance, especially at the end of the season, because I have important exams for the rest of my life coming up. Thank you all very much for joining me. This is a Friday, so I might be able to get away with it, but thank you all very much for joining me, and I'll see you again on the 20th of January in 1 week's time. Goodbye.